Okay, good. 5, 4, 3. I'm here to address the most serious allegations Ashley Carmen and The Verge made against me and the podcasting hype house. A bit of advice for everybody watching: keep your receipts. 1. Drugs. True and false. I smoke weed. I get drunk sometimes, and I'll dabble in some other stuff on occasion. But there aren't lines of coke left all around my house. That's ridiculous. I don't carry a fanny pack around, pushing drugs on random people at work events, and I definitely don't do coke on all my work trips. Who has a plug in random cities all across the US? I certainly don't. 2. $100 million investment, according to Rick Sela, was a figure made up by me. False. Read this text. Ariel, my boss, I do like the big impression here at the beginning. Matt, the head of PR, which part do you want to keep most, the 100 million or the XFM 500 million piece? Matt, 100 million. Ariel, can we discuss this one more time, please? Ariel, confirmed by CFO. That's CFO of Shimalaya, headquarters in China. This is good to release. Let me know if you need any additional information. My name wasn't involved one time in that, nor was I mentioned or did I speak. It was above my pay grade, and I wasn't involved in the decision. That's big line number 2 already, by the way, from Rick. 3. Sex workers from an app. False. Is there an app for hookers? I don't think so. That's a clear old person lie. Who would tell an old person lie like that? Maybe the same person that said he fake did lines every time we partied, and that he had tons of evidence, but he shot it with a shotgun and was banned from working with the biggest agency in podcasting because of inappropriate rape comments made to their employees. Proof here. And was fired by me because he had a secret competitive business that I found out about. Rick Sela. Missed meetings because of late nights? False. Have I gotten hookers in the past? Sure. Plenty, but not anymore. I'm really just not that guy anymore. There are certainly pretty girls here that hang out all the time, but that's really fucked up to assume that they're hookers or that they're constantly doing drugs, because neither is the case. 4. Shows didn't work out. True and false. Some shows did work out, like Mike Tyson's and Zane and Heath's. Others didn't work out, like Penny Hardaway's, but that's just the nature of the business. 5. Lawsuits. True. I've got some open litigation. The main one mentioned is a bunch of charges alleged by 4 disgruntled former employees, who, by the way, were all fired for very just cause. Their claims in the suit are all false, which will be proven when it's settled in court. But as for their craziest comments, there was no harassment. I never asked for a fivesome. We didn't look at girls' boob sizes on LinkedIn. It's all so fucking stupid. They all loved working with me, as evidenced here, and here, and here, and here. It's all 4 of the people named in the suit, shortly before or shortly after their termination, telling me how much they loved me or loved the job or were thankful for it or still wanted to be friends with me. It all changed when one big law firm offered to take it on at no cost to any of the people involved to try to take as much money from this $100 million tech firm as they could. And people like me and the people I support potentially get hurt in the process. They're all just really bitter because they were fired and aren't allowed to be a part of what I'm building anymore. Facts. The other 2 lawsuits are landlords pulling landlord shit. Need I say more? I've treated both places with the utmost respect. 6. Racist and sexist hiring. Absolutely false. I don't care what you look like or your gender. In fact, my team happens to be mostly women now. And at the time their claims were made, this was the majority of my team. Does that look like a racist or sexist? I don't think so. What follows are 2 emails that were sent by my leadership directly following the allegations made by the 4 people named in the lawsuit. The first is my chief revenue officer and the second is my head of operations. First, by Nathan Jordan. Ariel and Wang Yu, my bosses. I am more than happy to speak to any of this. Misty was let go because she wasn't a fit with the company. Somehow this has turned into an attempt at extortion. I think our record is clear when it comes to hiring and empowering female employees at High Studios. With Andrea as the VP of Operations and future COO, we have female managers in operations, marketing, sales, finance, and integrated marketing. Since I've started, I've hired only women with the exception of 2 male sellers. I personally know some of these hires before they worked at High Studios, and neither myself nor these women would tolerate the environment that's alleged in this letter. Peter has been nothing but supportive of his employees and empowered them to pave their own way in this company. Unfortunately, not everyone thrives in a startup environment, and sometimes we must pivot quickly. I think the behavior of those we've let go has more than proven we've made the right decisions. Next letter, Andrea Perez. Ariel and Wang Yu. I have to agree with Nathan. We strive to create a culture of mutual respect, transparency, and accountability on every front at High Studios. Misty was under my purview beginning mid to late December, and I did not hear any complaints from her, apart from one instance on her last week in which she communicated she was unclear about her duties at the company. It is both alarming and disappointing to see such rash action being taken by a former member of the team who was treated with trust and appreciation. 7. I acted illegally in my departure of High Studios and the forming of Notorious. Not one bit. In fact, I worked with a team of lawyers to ensure every action I took was completely by the book. No one locked them out of their systems. No one stole their shows. That's a bunch of opportunistic lies. High Studios meant nothing to me at that point, and obviously nothing to Himalaya either, given the fact it died immediately once I was gone. 8. The house was in disrepair, and the cause for my separation from Norm. So fucking false. First of all, the time frame Norm is referring to is April to August 2020. Peak COVID. Do you remember that? He didn't record in the High Studios house at all prior to Notorious's founding. As mentioned, in April I moved my wife, 3 kids, 2 dogs, and 4 cats into the Beverly Hills home so that we could be together during quarantine. And I was the name on the lease and responsible for it once I left High Studios. The house was still used as a work environment, but it had temporarily also become my family's home. We had a full-time housekeeper, and the house was maintained every single day until the day we left. My family returned to our primary home in San Diego in mid-June. Most podcasts actually stopped recording during lockdown, as you can assume, but I did let one team continue to record at my house, Digital Soapbox and Norm Steele's team, for free, which at the time he greatly appreciated. He brought huge crews that would take over my house, and I regularly complained to Norm to please make it stop. He recounts a whole bunch of made-up excuses, but please see our last text exchange and you tell me who was the fed-up one. He also never had a contract with me, as he states. That's why he was able to use me as a stepping stone to his iHeartRadio deal he announced less than 3 weeks after our last text exchange. I'll read the following text messages between Norm and myself. The first, I say on Wednesday, July 29th. This really sucks, man. I told them they could because it was too late. This was an impromptu music video being recorded at my house. I told them they could because it was too late, but this shit just can't happen, man. It's exactly what I was worried about when I talked to you yesterday. Really frustrating, and I don't know how else to stop it. I feel like I'm being house raped. I told him to leave. I'll be there at 4:30, said Norm. See you at 4:30. I followed. My pool and living room are overrun, and there's a fucking dude sitting on my couch in his underwear next to his pants. He said, I'll shut it down. Thursday, August 6th, the following week. Hey, I would like to tell people, if they aren't in the show, or producing the show, or have an invite from you or me, they can't come anymore. Wednesday needs to feel like every other day here, not an event or burden. Well, after next week, it'll only be one show, if that. We're getting our own space. But I feel you. We spoke about this last night. I said, cool. I was briefed this morning on a whole kitchen food thing that went down last night that I don't like. I don't want or need that lady cooking for us next Wednesday. People can eat before they get here, not demand shit once they're here. Norm, please call me next week. There are people cooking in my kitchen right now. Clearly you did not pass along the message. This Wednesday shit is killing me. It's too late, so please don't say anything now, but sure is frustrating. Next day, hey Norm, please call me today. I need to be sure I don't have to deal with anyone cooking tomorrow. I didn't get her number. She was sweet, but I don't need a caterer or Wednesday cook. I just want a regular day at my house. Can you please help me? That's the last message I sent Norm or he sent me, and he announced his new deal less than 3 weeks later. Do you know how long it takes for a massive network and another new network to partner on a deal and come to an actual agreement? Their deal was announced, public relations speaking, 2 weeks after I sent my last message. He didn't leave because I tried to pay him in weed. He didn't leave because they stepped in dog poo. He left because he got a new deal, and for some reason he wants to try to bury me after the fact, which I just don't deserve. 9, I fell behind on payments. True, I started building this company in the middle of a pandemic. I had no investors, no funding, and we busted our asses to catch up, which was quoted in the article. I built a company while so many companies were going down, and I did all that I could do to make it right with my partners. And right now I can proudly claim that I am caught up with my partners on every single dollar that I owe them and currently pay them the second I receive that money. 10, Notorious lives on. Winston Churchill once said, "A lie gets halfway around the world before the truth has a chance to get its pants on." The truth is, I've spoken with Ashley for just under a year for this story. I gave her plenty of facts contradicting her narrative, but she wasn't interested in balanced reporting. Only clicks and attention. Sounds to me like those influencers she thinks have followers for just no reason. Ashley Carmen felt empowered to try to bury a disabled veteran just trying to provide for his family and other families during a tough time with no proof. And hopefully this has informed your opinion just a little about me. Hopefully Ash and or The Verge decide on a few more corrections to the article after seeing all of my evidence. Though I ain't holding my breath. And aside from my guayaki fridges, which were seized today because of your story, it's nothing but up from here, and we're excited for the future. Just this week, we launched our first music video, our first Snapchat original, and our first music festival. We're an ambitious team with big dreams. We've done some cool shit already, and we're not stopping anytime soon. Certainly not for any of you fucking haters. If I could leave you with one thought, remember, it wasn't me. They are trying to make me an scapegoat. If I am fired, I swear to God that every single piece of copier paper in this town is going to have the F word on it. The F word. You have one day.